Welcome back. You're watching the India News. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on. 3 survivors were found in Indonesia after the Merapi volcano erupted in West Sumatra as search operations, which were halted temporarily over safety concerns, resumed. The rescue team recovered 11 dead bodies out of 75 climbers who were in the area at the time of eruption. There were 49 climbers evacuated from the area early on Monday, and many were being treated for burns. There were still 12 climbers missing. Authorities raised the alert to the second highest level and prohibited residents from going within 3 kilometers of the crater. Well, we're joined by Patrick Fok from Singapore for more on this. Patrick, can you tell us about the status of the rescue operation? What is it right now?
Well, I can tell you that the rescue operations have resumed for those 12 climbers still missing from over the weekend. As you say, efforts had been halted on Monday due to another volcanic eruption. There was a new burst of hot ash, which was as high as 800 meters, according to officials, and that had made things very difficult, and conditions just weren't suitable to continue, so things had to be stopped on Monday. They have resumed now, but the situation is still very difficult. There is still a fear of further eruptions. There has been bad weather, poor visibility and rain that rescuers are having to contend with. We're told there are 120 rescuers involved. They're having to do everything by hand and bring people that they've managed to retrieve down the volcano by hand because the conditions aren't suitable for air retrieval in case of further volcanic activity. We have seen images of at least one person being stretchered off the volcano, and also heard reports about people being retrieved, being treated for burns at hospitals, and also really being in a bit of a state of trauma, you might say. But the whereabouts and condition of the remaining 12 climbers remains uncertain. It does seem it is a bit of a race against time to try and retrieve them.
All right. Also, reports suggest the eruptions took people by surprise, even though Merapi has been active since January. What can you tell us about that?
Well, it was, and it wasn't a surprise, really. As you say, there was a volcanic eruption that took place in January. It wasn't necessarily particularly significant, and there weren't any casualties then. And remember, Merapi is one of 120 active volcanoes in Indonesia. It's prone to seismic activity because of its situation on the Pacific Ring of Fire. But, you know, in the last few days, according to experts, there hadn't been any significant increase in volcanic earthquakes. And it suggests that the process, the volcanic process, happened all very quickly, and that was partly because of the fact that the source in Merapi is close to the surface, according to experts. So, as I say, you know, it was very difficult to predict, and experts have also said that it is difficult to predict the situation with Merapi, even with equipment, because of its nature, and so it has taken by people by surprise to an extent, you might say.
All right. Thank you so much for that information from there, Patrick.